does a lot of meta development here, but like there's just no one to look up to, right? Like you have to do that work yourself, because at the top level there's just no representation.
I feel like those higher mid-tier or lower in the mid-tier range characters are even less figured out than those bottom tiers, because there's some sort of an appeal to playing a bottom tier.
Yep.
That like, oh, I'm proving something to myself and others. But these mid tiers, like a lot of players just do not play them, and it's really interesting to see these not played characters and just what people are doing with them.
Yeah, right now though, it looks like, as I said, it's going to be very rough for the Inkling player. Is trying to find their way in, but at this point, you know, you are so high percent against Snake, and any of his like an up tilt or a grab is very easily going to be able to kill here. We see the setup with the Nikita and the grenade. Great air dodge through, actually able to get past that whole setup and get into your own. So Inkling able to answer back pretty well. If that player had connected, it might have led into a string that they could have gotten the stock, but this time it is just going to be one of those long Snake multi-hits that we know and love him for.
This showing a little bit of a chink in the armor with that string coming out from Blues, but yes, as you said, now they're going to take it, and AlanDiss is just going to be doing that classic Snake gameplay, just going around, throwing out explosions, throwing out those hitboxes, so you can rack up that chip damage. The king of chip is Snake. So they're sending Blues off stage once again. Is this Booyah percent? Just barely not.
Yeah, it's tough. It's just not as, it's not quite as reliable as Donkey Kong's Ding Dong in the circumstances. You just have to be in a very specific percent. And oh man, just answering back with that up tilt. I mean, it's so tough to make a comeback on Snake, who just can't set up this wall, and every time you go in, even if you find an opening on Snake, you're usually eating a bunch of percent as well. And AlanDiss is setting up this wall quite well. We see the roller into the down smash, does get the stock, recharges up that ink resource, but still just a lot of work to come into this one. Finds a grab, but doesn't find anything as a follow-up after. But okay, covered in ink here. This is a great opportunity to make something happen, but an early air dodge out of the Cypher means that AlanDiss is going to be able to get out of the corner well, turn it around onto Blues. However, an explosion on himself means that Blues can get out of the corner. And now, though, a big turnaround from Blues, once again covering in Ink's ammo.
I'm realizing about this matchup, it could be a little bit of an interesting situation. If you get that Snake covered in ink, those grenades that you love to take trade for as a Snake will be doing a lot of damage to you. That once you're covered in ink, I think your grenade might be doing upwards of 22% on you, and that is not something good if you want to see if you're AlanDiss. And a ledge trapping scenario coming out from Blues, but getting reversaled, and good tech from Blues, avoiding the Nikita kill. Gets a roller, doesn't get the cancel though. Back air, and now this is still quite an even game. However, 150% on Inkling. F tilt enough to take it. Showing a little bit of fire is Blues, but AlanDiss stuffing it out.
Yeah, I like that. I like that signs of life at the end there. Blues finally got some momentum, really just putting a lot of pressure on AlanDiss, and it didn't seem like AlanDiss could deal with the once Blues is already in. Like, AlanDiss has been very good at keeping Blues out for the whole game, but the moment Blues found his way in, he was able to rack up a ton of percent and put AlanDiss into a relatively last hit situation. I mean, not quite. I mean, it would have had taken a pretty big hit from roller or something like that to actually find the stock, but still though, I mean, this is pretty impressive. I think the one thing I was interested in is seeing how we were going to get the stocks from Inkling, because Inkling is a relatively difficult character to find the killing blow with. Like, a lot of times you need a very specific kill confirm, or you need an extra you need like a late, like a back air at 130 or 150 or something like that. And when you're fighting against Snake, who can just rack up this percent super easily and has a million kill confirms of his own, having your kill confirms locked down is so important. It seems like Blues did, so nice work there.
Just not the best character at finding kills. Snake, on the contrary, one of the better characters at finding a kill because he racks up the percent so well, and two-thirds of his tilts are killing options with a grab that will lead into a kill as well. This is just a very scary situation. Can Inkling find the opening for Will Snake chip them down? Getting a big up throw combo though is Blues, and just even percents. AlanDiss back to the corner, back in that situation. And it's the Nikita taking the first stock.
Yeah, I think basically Snake has a sense of inevitability, where like you're gonna take damage. Like you can't avoid taking damage from Snake. It's not possible. And he also has an ability to kill you eventually. So if you're not putting the pressure on Snake, he will eventually rack up percent, and he will eventually find a kill on you because that's what he does. You know. So great set there with the forward air, going super deep, isn't able to find the other one, and now we see a super high Cypher, and able to get back to ledge. Just gets the up throw though, and the booyah. Wow, I was like 135 that worked on. That was actually pretty impressively high. And maybe this matchup isn't quite as bad as I thought.
Yeah, if that booyah, if that kill confirm is working upwards of 140%, that is a good situation you want to see. And what I've been impressed with so far is Blue's recoveries. He is absolutely doing an incredible job at avoiding Nikita and avoiding all of these hitboxes that AlanDiss is throwing out. However, AlanDiss is doing an incredible job at that ledge trapping, that next phase of disadvantage. But I still am super impressed with what Blues is doing, and this reversal is really scary. Does make it back with the Nikita, trying to break out of that Cypher armor, but this advantage state is still going for Blues. But now AlanDiss finds a way to make it back to neutral and find his home.
That was so unfortunate for Blues. It really felt like they had the whole kit and caboodle, but unfortunately at the very end, caboodle slips out of their grasp, and now it's a back to neutral start, and it's such a tough ask to make this comeback of a full stock when you don't have like some ability to make a camp happen there. Oh, the trade with the up tilt. Yeah, a lot of times it feels like Blues has been predicted on the timings of run-in, has not been mixing up the approach timings a lot, and when AlanDiss needs it, he pulls out that counter attack up tilt, just like, oh, you're running into me? Cool, I got you. Have this leg.
And that leg he shall have. That up tilt is so scary to go up against when you have that character that we mentioned has that inevitability. You will take damage, and there is that threshold of once you're at 90%, 95, that up tilt is going to start killing, and it's so scary to land. It's scary to approach. It's scary to sit there. Snake is just a terrifying presence that is felt everywhere. And AlanDiss, one of the best Snakes in the world, will utilize that to the best of his ability.
Yeah, great. I don't know. We'll see on the stage counterpick, the Hollow Bastion, if it's going to make the difference. Getting a little bit of a parry start off, but the grenade was there to disrupt the whole thing. And that always sucks when you're like, I finally found the opening, and then you just are like, oh, never mind, grenade interrupted me. Oh look, it did it again. You know, like even if you're getting some hits on Snake and he's taking the grenade damage too, it's just like so demoralizing to have your combos interrupted like that.
It's an unfortunate situation to be put in, and a lot of your combos just stop working, but that combo is going to be working at that percent. Blues finds the booyah, and this Hollow Bastion does have low ceilings, so that booyah is going to be killing at lower percent. Very, very threatening. But a parry up tilt just barely not going to be killing on the side of AlanDiss. Dash attack sending him off once again. Can Blue make it back from the depths? And avoids the C4 as well. Scary situation in the corner, but gets a jab. Doesn't go for the rapid jab.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised on that one. That's like sort of the Inkling's go-to, but right now they're looking very, very poised to take this game. Another this time the rapid jab comes out, and the has a decent amount of ink on. Yeah, just having to charge that one up. I think maybe the rapid jab earlier wasn't used because they didn't have enough ink. So
I always forget that ink
is it actually a resource? Yeah.
It's a resource that you have to. It's so needed for Inkling's game plan that it's unfortunate that Inkling it uses it up. However, Blue's using the resource to the best of his ability as he's now up an entire 2 stocks.
Yeah, 2 stocks to 1 now, as we see AlanDiss adopt a very defensive posture, but this time the grenade breaking him out once again of that jab combo. Still, when you're ahead, you're happy to trade these grenades with Snake. You're a whole stock ahead. You're throwing out your own bombs, and yeah, just really hunting down Snake up in the sky. Just looking pretty good. Gets the jab after the grab release, going so high for the forward air. Would have worked out if it connected, but now we see another booyah, and it does on this low ceiling stage. This is exactly what you were talking about. Dominating performance for Blues on the counter pick, but I don't know, man. This is gonna be a counter pick for AlanDiss now. Do you think he's gonna be able to perform as well on a counter pick stage?
I do not know. I feel as if Blues is going to be banning those larger stages like Kalos, Town, maybe a PS2. We'll see. So it allows him to apply that pressure that we saw in that game 3. But AlanDiss does then still, okay, maybe not a PS2. AlanDiss has so many options to do well on. Snake has just a plethora of tools to utilize every stage, and Blues now has to play on that back foot and play on PS2, which I believe they started on. I'm not, but we'll see if AlanDiss is going to be doing a repeat of game 1, or Blues find a way to continue this dominance that we saw from game 3.
Yep. Already though, starting off with a couple dash stacks means that AlanDiss is going to find a little bit of a lead, but nothing that can't be made up for in a single combo. And a lot of splatter shot right now be used to clean up these grenades, making sure that you can't safely pull them in every circumstance. Very similar to Fox Laser. That can just explode them if Snake is holding them too aggressively. Great tech chase. Oh, almost catches the roller, which was a huge opening here, but great trades out right now mean that we are just kidding. You lands an up tilt. Now we have the AlanDiss lead, and this is the part where I find Inkling is probably going to struggle a lot, Samo.
This is a tough situation for any character, let alone Inkling. Snake with a stock lead. That is almost as close to a death sentence as you could get, as already Blue has 60% on their second stock, and AlanDiss is completely comfortable staying in that corner, staying on that platform, and just racking up the percent and racking up the stocks as a grenade into the up air going to take Blue's second stock.
Yeah, unfortunate setup there. I mean, sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and Snake can capitalize incredibly well on a splatter shot damage. I mean, it's not going to matter until you take the stock. And, okay, he's taking the stock behind a stock now. We did see a 2-stock last game, which means it's technically possible to come back into it, but the way it's looking right now seems to be all over. The forward smash almost ended everything here, but I think AlanDiss is looking inexorable in his approach to this victory. Another grenade into up air, and yeah, third stock, same as the second. Gonna be an AlanDiss victory, but hey, Blues got a game in there. Looked really, really dominating for a single moment, but unfortunately, AlanDiss is inevitable.
That game, that one show of dominance was very, very cool to see. But AlanDiss showing why he is the higher seed, answering right back and moving on into top 32 winners side now. And now I believe coming up on stream we are going to be having Chag versus Evil M.
Oh no, they changed the match on us.
Did they? Oh,
yeah, it was gonna be whiskey. That's fine. I'm a
was
Chag fan too. But
Yeah,
all right, Chag versus Evil M. Okay, cool, cool. Sheik Link.
yeah. Sheik. Yeah. Evil
That'd be
M. Yeah,
interesting to see.
interesting character pool.
Yeah, definitely a Zelda fan. Wants to have representation of those characters. I think it's interesting in Smash Bros. How we have like people who are so like dedicated to like certain characters just because they love the series. Like I have a friend who's like a Shulk main exclusively because he's a massive Xenoblade Chronicles fan. Like that is the reason he plays Shulk. And he played Shulk in Smash 4 when Shulk was kind of bad. And he played Shulk in ult when he got a lot better. So it's just funny to see like people like, yeah, I like this character because of this. But then they just play them in this game, even if they're good, even if they're bad, doesn't matter.
I would like to